If you actually look around, you'll notice that there are businesses which are very flooded. So such businesses, anyone, even the school dropouts, especially school dropouts, are quick to start such business. The barrier to entry, the bar is very low. In such a case, you find that the business becomes flooded very fast. And these are the businesses which you should avoid if you want to become rich. In Kenya, if you want to become a millionaire, avoid doing such business. And even the government always targets such businesses for taxation. So which are these most flooded businesses you should avoid at the moment? Normally these businesses, when they are new in a country, especially in Kenya, they're very good, very lucrative, very profitable. But when someone or everyone wants to start that business, it becomes very, very flooded. Now here's a list of those most flooded businesses in Kenya. And the obvious one, as you know, is Boda Boda. Now if you have a large family, you have very many responsibilities. Boda Boda is not one of the businesses to do in Kenya, because the average income of Boda Boda owners is 600 shillings per day. That is minus expenses. That is the average income. If you have a house, you are paying rent, you have children you are taking to school, and many other responsibilities, 600 cannot help you. You'll never save any money. Mostly Boda Boda is good for people who are starting life, people who are below 25 years, who don't have many responsibilities, or people who have retired. If you are around 55 and above and feel like you have done enough, you just want to exercise, you do Boda Boda because you don't have many responsibilities. The only money you make from there is to feed yourself and to buy some drugs. That is all. So that is one of the most flooded businesses you should avoid. And if you want to make money from Boda Boda, you either become a seller, you sell Boda Boda, you sell spare parts, or you do insurance for Boda Boda, something like that. But when you are operating directly Boda Boda business, you never become rich. Another business which was very good a few years ago is selling bottled water refilling business. It used to be very, very good around 10 years ago, but right now it's flooded. If you go to any town, you get so many shops, so many businesses selling water, bottled water, because it's very easy to process. And this business, the only problem is to get licenses, but nowadays they get them easily. But once you join, you realize that there are so many people, the competition is very high, and you are competing with big brands. So it's very difficult to be rich at the moment when you are doing bottled water business. Another one this one is just obvious, the M-Pesa business, very flooded. The commissions, it was so much flooded until Safaricom reduced the commissions. Right now, if you have something like 100 transactions, you'll only make 1,000 shillings. 100, and to get 100 transactions per day is very difficult. It is in areas like Nairobi, those are flooded areas where the crowded estates, that's where you can make that money. But in villages, you'll only get 20 people per day, 15, 10. Imagine if, for example, you're making 20 bob from one person and you have 10 people, that's 200 per day. That's small amount. Unless you're doing another business, it's very difficult to become rich doing M-Pesa business. It's very, very flooded. And if you want to be rich with M-Pesa, the only thing you can do is to have so many accounts, give them to others so that you can share commissions and profits. That way you can become rich. Another one is wines and spirits business. This one is so much flooded. Almost everyone is doing it. And once you start doing it, you realize that there are so many challenges. Actually, instead of starting this business, you better start even M-Pesa business. But M-Pesa also has got one main challenge. Nowadays, thieves target M-Pesa. Now, for this other business, wines and spirits, the police must come, because obviously wines and spirits does well from 10 p.m. upwards or onwards. From 10 p.m. up to midnight, up to 1 a.m. That's when most customers are free and they drink a lot. And they don't reason a lot like during the day. They can spend a lot of money. But that's when you find police officers come and tell you it's past the required time. And then you know what happens next. And this wines and spirits business is highly regulated. So to make enough profits is very difficult, because in one area you find that you are around 10 of you and the number of customers are very few. So it is very flooded and it's very difficult to become rich, and the profits are very, very low. So this is one business you should not even try, because almost everyone anyone is starting the business. And there's also one business that I'm seeing which is going to be flooded. If you're not starting today, in future you you may not get a chance, or even if you get a chance, you not make decent income. Around 5 years ago, Airbnb business used to be very, very profitable. Even 3 years ago, even up to last year. But right now, almost everyone is starting the business. And in the next 5 years, you'll start your own BNB, you'll never get customers. Because in one area, you'll get so many people operating this business, especially here in Nairobi. But right now, it's not flooded. But with the time, in the next 1 year, 2 years, it will be very flooded and you never get profits. There's also Mitumba business. This one has been there for ages, for years. And Mitumba is one business you can, if you have something like 10K, just go to the Gikomba market, you pick, and then the clothes just come and start selling. You don't even need a place as a physical office or building. You can just sell in the streets. So at the end of the day, you find, since everyone is doing it, anyone can do it, even anyone who did not go to school. So there's no barrier. So it's very flooded. Everyone is doing the business. Profits are very low. And eventually you find people are not making enough money. It's very difficult to become a millionaire from mitumba business unless you are selling mitumba bells, or you have a big shop like those big shops you see in most cities where they sell a reducing price. Today they're selling 1,000, tomorrow 500, the next day to 50. That way you can make money. Now, in all these businesses, if you want to become rich, the only thing you can do is to avoid being the retailer. Avoid being at the lowest of those selling the products. Be the one supplying them. If you are you want to sell clothes in Sili, just be the one importing and selling to those traders. If you want to sell wines and spirits, do wholesale business. If you want to do border, don't do the business directly. Just import border and sell to those people. Import spare parts and sell to them. Be the one repairing the border. That way, you can be rich. If it's M-Pesa, partner with M-Pesa, Safaricom, and offer some special service. That way you can make money. If it's water refilling business, you should have an industry where you process the water and sell to other retailers. That way you'll make a lot of money. So those are some of the businesses that are flooded, which you should avoid at the moment if you want to become rich.